In Toom Studio, you'll be using a traditional concept known as pegs. Now, of course, in old school animation, pegs were used to register properties so that things would line up properly in your animation. But in Toom Studio 3.5, you'll find you have two different types of pegs available to you. You have pegs that are built into anything you draw, and you also have pegs that you can manually attach to things. Now, a peg is simply a device, an element that will allow you to add animatable properties to something, such as rotation, scale, position. Think of a peg this way. Well, if you want to go to the supermarket right now, you could walk to the supermarket, but if you attached yourself to your car, which would be a peg, and you buckled yourself into that car, and then you rolled your peg or your car to the supermarket, you would follow that car. And a peg works in the same way. If you look at my timeline down here, I have two cameras that I added to the scene. Here is the original camera that comes with Toom Studio, and I added an additional camera called Camera 2. This camera has a peg, as you see is indicated by this icon. And all I really did was I selected my camera and I clicked this button here to attach that camera to that peg, or to make this camera the child of this peg. So the camera, in essence, becomes you, and this is your car. So whatever we do to this peg will allow the camera to move around. Now what I'm going to do is over here, I'm going to turn my peg back on so you can see what it looks like. This tells me that we have motion attached to this camera. And when I scrub the playback head, you see that I have the camera actually zooming in or trucking into the scene here. So a peg is simply a device. It's an element that allows you to add properties such as rotation and scale and position to something in your movie. It's simply a way to attach something to something else that you can then position. The cool thing about pegs is that we can parent more than one element to it, and we can also parent other items that are already animated to another peg. So we're going to talk more about pegs and how to animate with them in upcoming lessons.